Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It's still November 1947. Transport capacity actually pretty good. Been losing some transports every month, but it's not nowhere near critical, so we can keep this up for quite a while. It's no problem at all. Anyway, let's do this battle before clicking next month. It's the light cruiser Jord, Bragi 2 class, versus one of the German Lübeck class light cruisers. So, yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. They're just not that good in a cruiser-on-cruiser fight. Wouldn't want to meet them in a DD, but anything bigger will make kind of short work out of it. I hope I don't have to eat those words. There we go. They outspot us by quite a bit. These old Bragi class light cruisers don't have the best tower spotting. You can see they're now actually even hiding in their smoke screen. I can't even see through that, even with... Okay, I guess they only have radar generation 1. There's not that much big of a difference. Let's see if I can get some torpedoes in the water. There you go, flooding hits already. Means my torpedoes will probably miss now that the target is slowing down due to the flooding. So should probably have held on to them a bit longer. But it looks like I will not be needing the torpedoes anyway. That barely missed though, so we got close. Yeah, that was a fight. Now let's see what happens next month. There's a lot of naval invasions, both mine and the US. And even Germany now has a naval invasion going on here, trying to take Helgoland. Which, well, they don't have any ships to do that. And my big invasion fleet is also in their circle, so it's going to be difficult for them. They did take the Faroe Islands, though, from me. I thought having these two here would be enough to defend it, but I guess since this ship displaces more than these two combined, and the required tonnage was probably not that much, given the size of Torshavn. I guess they got it anyway. It's not a big deal. It's not as if it's a super valuable piece of land, but I'm gonna take it back. Just not this month. And there's a revolution in the United States. They don't trust Claude Sellers. Maybe Peter Sellers will get the job. France and Britain really like me. I think I'm just gonna keep ignoring them. Or maybe I should say yes to the alliance and then break the alliance to get relations down to 0. Maybe that's a good idea. Here we go. Sea Log class battleship. Looks decent enough. Let's go. Okay, it doesn't look that good. It looks kind of weird, honestly. Let's just have you two in a division. Light cruiser. I don't know why I brought it. It's not as if I need protection from submarines in this mod. it's not vanilla. So if it was, I would definitely want to have some light cruisers with me. Because they're really good at protecting from submarines. There we go, enemy battleships spotted. Okay, so that's not a main turret in the middle there. It is a almost an ABXY layout, except for whatever this is. And the kind of ugly default tower. Mark III guns. Yeah, I have not seen Russia build any ships for many, many, many years. So this ship has been just sitting around for a while. How old is it? I'm not sure. I'm guessing mid to late 1920s? Perhaps? Anyway, we got range to hit the enemy ship. They will not be in range to hit me in a while. Although they are getting closer. Well, that's bad luck for them. Both A and B turrets went kaboom. What was it that hit them? It was an 18.5. And there we go, some flooding as well. So they're gonna have to turn broadside, almost, if they want to return fire. Bring X and Y turrets to bear. I guess they're kind of firing now. They're targeting Dovre. Not hitting anything. And there it goes. And that was, I think that's the only ship they had in the entire Russian Navy. And I know they're, last I checked, they were not building anything. Which means their army logistics are probably gonna drop. We're just gonna keep fighting. I think I just want to wipe out Russia. Here we go. These ships once again being attacked. I did check before the end of last turn if there were any American task forces headed towards these. Just before I started recording, and it didn't seem like it. So I thought they were safe without any aid from more modern ships. So we might have a bit of a problem on our hands. Because I don't think I can fight this. Can I withdraw? No, I cannot. So we've got to fight this. Well, I guess it makes things a bit interesting then. If I have some ships that are not actually a lot more powerful than the enemy ships. So let's see, we're gonna have these try to withdraw. Topper will probably be the only one effectively firing back with her Mark IV guns. We do have torpedoes though. Mimir, you can just follow Friday. Ran. You don't really have anything useful to do. You do have torpedoes. They're just not very long range torpedoes. We can try. 18 kilometers is not too bad. J-33. I will have her attempt to delay the enemy task force with some long-range torpedoes. Let's take a look at this American battlecruiser. Again, with the all forward. Well, okay. It does have one X turret. Almost all forward turret layout. That for some reason the Americans really like in this campaign. Mark IV 14s. And a lot of them. So Alabama is a powerful ship. My only complaints, basically this turret here. It doesn't belong. It's just in the way. Other than that, and you know, the oversized barbette just looking a bit wrong, it seems fine. I mean, it's got the armor, it's got the almost everything. Only anti-torp 1 and a double bottom. So we could do some damage here with torpedoes. If they don't just blow poor J-33 out of the water first. So some of the modernized dreadnoughts I designed a couple of episodes ago. Not the big one, not the 87,000 ton guy, but the other one. They're intended, I want 4 of them to replace these as my Caribbean dreadnought squadron. I guess I could just refit these and make them a little bit more useful, but it would be very like, there are limits to how good you can make a very old ship. Okay, we are in torpedo range. Where is the battle cruiser? There it is. Alabama. Okay, we're gonna smoke up. We're gonna smoke up and get some torps in the water. You're still targeting the battlecruiser. That is good. That is your target. Torps have been delivered. Iran also has torpedoes. They're not the most up-to-date torpedoes, but they're still 24-inch. They just lack a couple of repeatable technologies. Okay, Mimir, you're just being stupid now. Can you just not sail around in circles? Is it all expendable? Kind of. 118 million. More expendable than J-33. Let's see if these torpedoes will do anything. I mean, they look to be on target, but there's a lot of ships in the way, shielding Alabama. And torpedoes from Iran might strike something as well. Maybe. Mostly hits on DDs. J-33, you're sticking around. Are they all following Iran now? They might be. Maybe I can use my expendable light cruiser to draw them away from the battleships. Maybe you can slow down and just sail on a parallel course to the battleships. I think that's easier than trying to have it follow. I mean, we did damage quite a few ships, but okay, you can return fire on those DDs if you want to. Iran. I just hope you don't get deleted by battlecruiser fire. They seem to not be taking the bait. So J-33 might have to do that torpedo trick again. Top of it is firing. She can target Alabama. Poseidon. Yacht! We don't have a Rizzler here, do we? Is there a Rizzler in the room? I don't think there ever was a USS Skibidi. Reno, Vallejo. No. I think that's the only funny name in this US task force. I know there actually was a USS Giat. For real. So it's not just a meme. They're actually following it on. Maybe. Yeah, they are. Which sucks for my little light cruiser, but it might allow the rest of my task force to escape. Unless they just sink it and then go for a different target. That might actually be the case. J-33 is half reloaded. Even launching torpedoes at me. I don't think this light cruiser is gonna live. I mean, if we can just sink one of their DDs, we come out ahead. actually. It on sinks. Let's target like some stuff that is in the middle of things. Poseidon is not in range. Top bidder can keep targeting Alabama, because that's the biggest target. You can see that shell was gonna hit. The game had already decided. But J33 is still doing her top speed. I want to wait for J33 to reload torpedoes, and then we're going in. And now, from this side, Alabama should be easier to hit. Not too many ships in the way. Mimir, do you have torpedo range on stuff? I guess you do. I guess you can just turn broadside here, launch a spread at Alabama, like so. Let's see. You can target your guns on that DD, hit some stuff in between. Torpedoes on Alabama. Ooh, big hit on Friday. I guess it's not too bad. J33 is almost reloaded. Not sure if those torpedoes are gonna hit anything. They were close. They were close. Dud torpedo on the DD. We might get some here. And we do get a torpedo hit on Alabama. J33 is ready. Poor Friday might not survive this, which is a bit sad considering she's one of my very first dreadnoughts, but really no one to blame but myself for having her in this battle. Alabama has taken a lot of damage, like flooding damage already, which is nice. And is that a storm? Yeah, Friday goes down. Fickless, maybe target this. There we go. Multiple torpedo hits on Alabama. And on other ships as well. Mimir has not reloaded yet. I cannot see if I'm actually issuing move orders or targeting orders. You will have to detach. I don't think you're gonna survive this. I know the enemy battlecruiser is kind of out of commission by now, but we're still taking a lot of fire here. Alabama is still afloat. I think Tuppet might go down here. And there's so many tracers in the air that the game is a little bit choppy. Oh, and torpedoes that I don't see. Both of you detach. Let's see here. It's very chaotic. Secondaries on Dyer. Main guns on Milwaukee. Frickless will go down too, it seems. Poseidon. Currently doing okay. Yeah, it is targeting the ships I wanted to target. That's good. Yeah, Frickless goes down. I have Poseidon targeting Alabama now. Now this is not a good good battle. I didn't really expect my ships to be engaged by such a powerful enemy formation. The Giat was too strong. Let's blame that. Now Nimid seems to be the ship they're going for. Gonna have it try and get away a little bit to reload its torpedoes. Poseidon scoring good hits on Alabama. Will that be a kill on the enemy battlecruiser? It is. Good freaking job. Poseidon can now target the enemy heavy cruisers with its main guns. Let's see, which side is going to reload first here on the torpedoes? This side. That's perfect. We can just keep sailing parallel. Do we have range to hit Kendrick? We got 20-kilometer range on the Mark 5 9-inch guns. Springfield, good torpedo target, I guess. You can just launch whenever they're reloaded. There we go. I took some flooding just before launching. That was not good. It's gonna make it more difficult to withdraw. Poseidon sinks. Yeah, they're coming from this side too. I aimed my torpedoes at Des Moines, but she just turned. So those torps are gonna miss, unfortunately. So this looks like, sadly, a loss of almost the entire task force. Well, the DD is getting away. There you go, weather improved. A little bit too late. Mimir actually surrenders due to crew loss. Probably from not the torpedoes, actually. The towers. Anyway, no more of my torpedoes look like they're hitting anything, so I'm just gonna end it here. And we're just gonna have to take revenge in the next battle. The game still considers this a victory, though. Probably because I sunk the Alabama, which was quite expensive, and these two light cruisers. Also quite expensive. While most of my ships were kind of old and cheap, except for Frigg. No, Mimir, I mean, Frigg class. If she hadn't taken that flooding just before launching the torpedoes, she could have gotten away, I think. Because she's faster than the, let's see, what's the speed of these Virginia class? Yeah, faster by about 3 knots. These are expensive. Wow. Anyway, let's see what the next battle is like. There we go. Now let's take revenge. New Mexico class battleships. That is their latest class. Not as big as the ones we fought yesterday. They're a bit smaller, but these have Mark IV 20-inch guns. I'm pretty sure they do. The Utahs do not. Or do they? No, I think the New Mexicos are the newest ones. Utahs are older. And the big 90,000 tons are the probably the oldest that they still have in service. Anyway, we're gonna do this. And this time, the Americans are not up against 4 outdated dreadnoughts. They're up against the 4 greats. But first, let's see. Seasoned. I have seasoned my ships. Good. And we've got plenty of ammo, actually. Not like a huge amount of ammo, but a decent amount of ammo. Yeah, you can just follow the heavy cruisers, following the battleships for now. DDs. Let's see. Okay, almost making it easy here. There we go, Vikings, all in one division. J-43s. Now in one division. There we go. And J-38s. Also in one division. Let's see if these can organize themselves. Now, last battle these were in, they had trouble keeping formation, but they were good shots, all of them. And I think part of that comes down to having a mix of triple and quadruple turrets, which does give you a like a -4% to accuracy, which doesn't really matter. 4% is not noticeable. But it does mean that their volleys are kind of staggered, because there are different reload times between the triple and quadruples. The quadruples fire a bit slower, so that you don't get the recoil impulse messing up accuracy for the entire volley. Am I just going to keep them at full speed instead of going down to cruising speed? Maybe. I think that might help, actually. I'm going to forego that cruising speed bonus instead of just having the ships spaz out, as it were. J-43s, the Ormen Lange class, they're taking fire. So they're going to smoke up first. I think the Vikings are going to go this way. Just follow the J-38s as they approach. We are in range now with the J-43s. That is good. So we're going to pick out a couple of targets. Launch. We're almost in range. Indiana. And I guess also Indiana? Why not? Both of you. Oh yeah, you need to actually launch your torpedoes. My bad. Never mind. I was wondering why they weren't launching. Torpedoes off. And turn around. Let's see. How about the other ones? J-38s, are you in range of anything? You are. You are in range of things. Norfolk. West Virginia. You may aggro up as well. Vikings. You're gonna get a an embarrassment of targets. J-38s have their troops in the water. Now the Vikings, which are also in range of the enemy. You can target Galveston. You can target Indiana, Fargo, and you actually have range to hit Bainbridge. Good. Torps from the J-43s are hitting the targets. And Fargo sinks. The J-43s could turn around and launch again, theoretically. But that could be very risky. J-43s are getting out unharmed, more or less. Now let's pick out targets for the big guns, shall we? Where's that battleship? There's that battleship. Not quite in range. Not quite in range with all my guns. Bainbridge. New Mexico. Rhode Island. They're not in range because they're loading HE. There we go, more torpedo hits. Yeah, sailing away in a line like this is risky, but it's going well enough. So, I was about to say 28 torpedo hits, but that is so far. Seems like we're still getting more. The J-43s do have another side of torpedo launchers ready, so the Americans better not think they're safe just yet. Alright, Juno is not doing too hot. Yeah, we ended up with 30 torpedo hits out of that first run. Not bad. Where did I send you? J-43s. Here. I said, we're not done yet. And your smoke is almost ready again. Almost got torpedo range on New Mexico. For 4301, your target is New Mexico. For 4302, your target is Texas. There we go. Fish in the water. And 4302 just took a hit that disabled all the torpedo launchers, so you're just gonna retreat. Well, you still have that quad launcher, but it's yeah. Meanwhile, 4301 just had the launchers on the other side reload. So let's dump them as well. For good measure. I don't intend to retreat from this. So my ships better stick around. Yeah, the enemy ships turned around, so I don't think I'm gonna get too many torpedo hits on those ships I was aiming at. I did get one though, I think, on New Mexico. Is that gunfire? Maybe that was the 20s. The 38s are almost ready. Vikings are almost ready. There we go. We are getting more torpedo hits. Do I dare slow you down to your cruising speed? I will do that, get some more accuracy, and just hope that my ships behave. Yeah, they got Mark 4 20-inch guns, same as me. So those New Mexico class battleships, not to be taken lightly. I have a feeling these two ships are gonna be starting to make these two destroyers be a little bit troublesome, because 3803 is going faster than 3804. Indiana sinks due to structural damage. I think that was down to my 20-inch guns on the battleships, actually. Okay, we're gonna slow down the 3804, let the 3803 pass. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Gonna have those torpedoes to launch first, and then the Vikings. Okay. What do I have torpedo range to hit, even? Nothing yet. I'm not even in range. So I guess just smoke up and prepare to get closer. It looked like I was in range, but I wasn't. Are we gonna be targeting the, I guess the battleships are about done already. Which is a bit sad, because they were nice targets. They weren't doing too many crazy maneuvers. .38s have spent their torpedoes. Vikings going in next. Battleships, I'm just gonna make sure you're not running away from me. Seeing some tendencies to weird behavior here. I don't like that, but so far it seems manageable. Yeah, torps are not gonna hit much. Bainbridge goes down. Rhode Island will probably go next. Let's see. Björnson, Lee, Kielland, and Ibsen. We're running out of HE. Maybe stick to AP now. Yeah, standard shell ammo. They will get a refit when I get the Mark V 20-inch guns, so I might actually go with increased ammunition for them. Like, in total they have lots of ammo left, but HE, at least in this battle, is what they use the most. So that's almost dry. Having increased AP main shells might not be such a good idea. Okay, let's get these torpedoes launched and just hope that they actually end up hitting things. I can keep Galveston targeted. That's fine. Retreat. 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 And retreat. Let's see. What will the torpedoes do? We're at 32 torpedo hits, all told. Will we end up with a lot more? It's looking good so far. Bulk of the torpedoes seem to be ending up where the bulk of the enemy formation will end up. Can I get more than 50? I think 50 is what I got in the last battle this task force was in. Maybe not. Yeah, no. Too spread out. Might get some here though. Santa Fe, you're in a bit of a pickle. There we go. Alright. So from now on, it's just a gunfight. Let's see. Björnsson. Lee. Kjelland. Something for Ibsen. Ibsen. They are behaving, it seems. Try and slow them down a bit again. Heavy cruisers are targeting the nearest DD, which is what they should be doing. Rhode Island is still afloat. I don't feel like I have a great need of taking this as a war operation, so I do want it sunk. It's just not a big threat currently, because it's just barely afloat. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh, we still have some of that ammo. Egil might have to get in and clean up the DDs a bit later on. Lexington goes down. I have 2 battleships targeting a DD now. That is not necessary. Kjelland, you can target Texas. Lee, you can... I guess I already have a battleship targeting Pensacola. You can target Santa Fe then. Start working on those light cruisers. So heavy cruisers first, then light cruisers. Then start shooting at DDs. $85,000, 140, 101, 81. 65 and 54, but you've been snacking on DDs. That tends to inflate the damage numbers. What kind of armor are we looking at for the light cruisers? They're not too well armored, are they? Might actually be HE food. Let's go to ×5. It's just not too hectic right now. Texas goes down. Three of you are now targeting Pensacola, which also goes down. Monterey. There was a light cruiser here that went invisible. Would be nice if I could spot it again. There it is, Vicksburg. I guess we just have to try and get a little bit closer again. Monterey sinks. By the time I run out of ammo, they should have run out of cruisers. Björnsson, Lee, Kjelland, Ibsen can deal with Vicksburg. Memphis is pretty much done. I don't really care too much about the enemy remaining battleship yet. I will sink it, but not in a hurry. I don't think it needs much. Just a tiny bit of flooding. So, yeah, refreshing after the last battle. Which didn't really go our way. Memphis goes down. And I don't need 3 of you targeting 1 DD. Said that before. Ibsen can target Vicksburg. I guess there are mostly DDs left now, aren't there? You may fire HE if you want to. Ibsen, what are you doing? You're going your own way. Stop being such an independent thinker. There we go. The enemy light cruisers became visible again. I see big explosions and ships getting hit, including some that I probably wasn't even aiming at. Okay. Bringing in that light cruiser to hunt. Take out some DDs. because the battleships are almost out. Yeah, they're as dry as can be. There you go. They had lots of light cruisers left. What are you guys even like doing, targeting DDs when they still have light cruisers? I guess they only have radar 1, don't they? Yeah, they do. So, might get some decent hits on these light cruiser just before they run completely dry. Yeah, they're almost out. Problem with not having enough HE ammunition on those ships is that the AP is just a little bit too powerful to target light cruisers. It was very effective against the battleships, but it just goes straight through the light cruiser armor. Like, what do they have? Yeah, it's not much. If I had more HE, I could score full penetrations even with HE. I guess some of these guys still have some ammo left. They can keep firing while Einherjar and Freya head out to join Egil. Torpedo hits. Those are not my torpedoes, which means we got incoming. Thank you for being my early torpedo warning system. Much appreciated. Just gonna have to keep turning, keep maneuvering. Undoubtedly, there are quite a few torpedoes in the water. Well, someone launched at something. Yeah, Seaman. You got the long range torps. Okay. So not all of the enemy DDs have 12-kilometer torpedoes. Some of them have long range oxygen stuff. Good to know. I could have checked for that before getting in close, but I didn't. Guess I could also recall some of my DDs for this to fight enemy DDs. Not the Vikings, but the J-43s and 38s. They do well enough in a gunfight. Some of my battleships still have ammo. Which ones? Jonas Lee still has some. Henrik Ibsen is completely out and not really understanding anything. He's in his own little universe. Come back here, Egil. Getting ahead of yourself. We have some DDs here that are being held back by a barely floating battleship. They should be easy targets. And it is day, but it's almost evening. The sun is setting. Just like the sun sets on this American task force. It's still afloat. That's a tough little DD. There it goes. Let's see, Seaman is reloading, so it's not too dangerous just yet. Okay, Patterson, you got long-range torps. Patterson and Edwards. Yeah, they're the class with only one type of torpedo launcher. You may target Seaman now, which may reload soon. You're also running out of HE. Patterson has launched. So I'm maneuvering. Edwards has also launched, actually. So, good thing I noticed that, or Egil would be eating more than her fair share of torpedoes. So far, so good. They're not launching just yet. It's a long-range torpedo DD. Alright, good. Good that the secondaries are very effective. Because it's a very target-rich environment. These enemy light cruisers are still hanging around. They're just not doing very much. I think they're set to follow the battle, or this one is holding them back, Birmingham. I guess it's commendable that they are not leaving their comrade behind. Oh, and both of these took torpedo hits because I was not paying attention. I was paying attention to something else. That's fine. And my heavy cruisers are down to only AP on their main guns, which means they have to rely on the secondaries which are not bad, I guess. Let's sink the crossbeam and then start working on those light cruisers. Actually, main guns on light cruisers, secondaries on crossbeam. Yeah, we're almost done here. If I can just keep from taking any more torpedo hits. This should be a pretty nice little victory. Main guns on the light cruiser, secondaries on the DD. That is the way. And we're sinking Dali. Ooh, Rhode Island actually firing back. Guess she found an angle where the guns were still effective. So main guns on the battleship, secondaries on that DD. Just need a little bit of flooding on that huge super battleship. Come on, Egil, you can score those hits. There we go, a little bit of flooding. And that was it. Rhode Island goes down. Last of the American battleships, if I'm not mistaken. Last of the capital ships too, because we sunk that battlecruiser in the battle that otherwise didn't go too well. And this thing is holding on. Yeah, the American DDs with the shorter range electric torpedoes, quite tough. These ones, not so much, but more dangerous torpedoes. A few bulkheads and maximum bulkheads. It does make a difference. Alright, that's a victory. I know the game gave me a victory on the other battle as well, but that was technical more than anything. This is a real win. Let's see, Indiana did some damage to one of my DDs, I guess. And we took some torpedoes towards the end there with the heavy cruisers, but other than that, didn't really take too much damage. Let's see, who did most here? Viking 31 and 32 did nada, zero. Not a single torpedo hit. 31 got minus 0.45 XP. Alright. Other than that, everyone else got 25, which I think is the most you can get. I'm not sure, but it seems that way. Seems that's the cap. Einherjar and Freya got the most because they got to farm DDs. Followed by the J43s. Actually earning their pay. Expensive DDs, but they did a lot of damage, so I guess they're worth it. Then 3 of the battleships. Lee, Ibsen, Kielland. Then a couple of Vikings. Björnsson. More Vikings, Egil. And J38. Alright, impressive torpedo damage by these. 12 torpedo hits by 4302, 9 by 4301, 4 by Viking 37 by Viking 29. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? It's a lot of torpedo hits. Yeah, happy with this. That was a long battle, longer than I thought it would be. We're doing this and the other ones next time. This should be a straight slaughter. So you can have that as an appetizer at the start of the next episode. Goodbye, and take care.